Good morning, friends. We are here this morning with Cassandra Oliver from Georgia, from the great state of Georgia, and couldn't be happier to have her on Sip with Stacy this morning. So thank you for joining us. I first want to start off by saying the idea behind Sip with Stacy is a leadership live stream, and to take a deeper dive into leadership, but more specifically, what the mission, vision, and values are of these women that are in our council. I was inspired to start this program because leaders that have tapped me on the shoulder have said, step forward, and we lead, we lift as we climb. And I'm passionate about doing that for others. So let's take a deep dive into Cassandra and ask her some great questions. So Cassandra, how are you this morning?
I'm doing great, Stacy. How are you this morning?
I'm fantastic, fantastic. Now, the rest of our country is going through a bit of a cold spell this morning. What's your temperature there in Georgia?
Today we're going to get above freezing finally today. So we've had a few frigid days here over the weekend and Christmas holiday. I mean, literally down in the single digits. So for us, that is a bit frigid. So yeah, we're climbing out of that right now.
Well, good to hear it.
Yes, we're glad.
Yes. When I saw some of those temperatures, I was thankful that I live in a warmer climate.
Yes, indeed.
So to start off, Cassandra, just so happy to have you on the show this morning. But I want to talk about your leadership and when that started. And maybe if you could just share with us who tapped you on the shoulder first to raise your hand and get involved in leadership.
Well, my journey started probably about 3.5, 4 years ago with the council, Stacy. So I was, new into the industry and looking for my way. And they tell you get involved with your association, and once you sign up as a realtor, and I did that, and it was kind of overwhelming. In the very beginning, trying to figure that all out. I came from a corporate background, been there for like 20 years. So I was used to kind of the corporate structure and trying to figure things out. But coming into the world of real estate, being a independent business owner and things like that, you really kind of have to figure it out. And real estate school does not teach you how to do real estate at all. So just trying to figure it out. And I stumbled on an event one day in Eventbrite, and it was it said this Women's Council of Realtors, and they were hosting a networking event at a local furniture store. And I was like, this sounds fun. So I went and sat there, and all these women were so welcoming. I felt like I found my tribe. It was just like, it didn't matter. They open arms welcomed me in. And so it took me a minute to kind of get engaged because, again, I was a little apprehensive, not knowing. Fast forward toward the end of the year, I met another member, and she was like the oldest member we had here, and so sweet. And she introduced me to the incoming president, and that person was Sharon Browder. And I had the opportunity to sit down at the table. We were at our association's annual meeting, and I just, share with her. I met all these ladies, and I wanted to get more involved with this organization. She said, well, come on. Invited me for a cup of coffee the next day, and she put me to work, Stacy. She put me to work immediately. But you know what? I am so grateful that she did. Starting out with working in membership, right, with the people and getting to know faces and things and learning the organization, and then beginning my climb that way. So I'm so forever grateful for Sharon saying, come have that cup of coffee with me and putting me to work.
Oh, that's so awesome. That is just wonderful.
Yeah, she's amazing. She's done that for so many of us too here. So I'm grateful.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And it's so funny because so many of us start in the membership category, don't we? So many of us just start in that membership, and that's what launches us to other leadership possibilities. So let's talk about now someone that you have tapped on the shoulder that you're bringing up currently, and what was that like?
So I met a young lady at the brokerage that I had worked at, one of my previous brokerages, and she was such a sharp young lady. And her background was in legal, I think it was. But she finally became a full-time realtor, and she was looking, again, the same type of story. She was looking for, her way through the industry, and I encouraged her to get involved with the council in her particular area that she was in. And she did. So the first, she's a go-getter. She steps out. She came to the NAR conference all by herself, Women's Council last year, all by herself. I mean, literally didn't know anybody outside of, me connecting with her as well. But she did. She took that leap. And when I saw that in her, I said, that is a person who we want to help bring up through the organization, because she's not afraid. She's not afraid of a challenge or not knowing. She'll get in there and figure it out. And so she joined the network. I encouraged her to start getting involved in membership right there in the membership area, and then moving on into an officer role. And she's working on project teams as well. And I tell you, she is thriving, not only in the council, but also in her association. And she's a member of one of the larger associations here in the state. And I tell you, she's going to be amazing.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Thank you for doing that for her. And what I find so ironic so many times is members or individuals are afraid to get into leadership because they think that's going to take away from their business. But what it actually does is it makes them a better business person. And then they end up finding other referrals and other business through meeting the people that they're in these groups with. And that's the beautiful, aha moment of this leadership journey that people don't know. So if you're out there and you're listening today to Cassandra and I, please do not be afraid to raise your hand and get involved in any leadership, whether it's Women's Council, your association, or NAR, because you will be a better business person and you will get more business, right, Cassandra?
Absolutely, you sure will. I tell you, part of my business the last 2 years, referrals, making those relationships and referrals, not just Women's Council, but also in my association, because I'm getting out there and it's helping my deals to go better as well. So when I see someone, especially when we went through this, crazy market, 18 months, when you saw a name of someone that you work with, you were able to, even though there were 50 or 60 offers out on the table, I could pick up the phone and say, hey, Stacey, I know you've got a lot going on, and we could talk through, and Stacey knows me. So she will consider that as she's presenting me to her client, because she knows me and she understands how we work and we have that relationship. So it has been a blessing getting involved, because this industry, I mean, it's huge. And without relationships, it's going to be hard to be successful. You can be successful, but it's challenging without those relationships.
That's right. That's right. And if I can say, I know Cassandra on the other end, and I know the level of realtor that she is, let's accept this offer. If I can convey that to my seller, that's the power. And I know that it's going to be, with the utmost integrity. And so that's a beautiful thing.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, that's great. That's great. Thank you for sharing that, Cassandra. Now, can we talk about what is the best piece of advice you have ever received in your career?
Oh, that I have received. The best advice I have received is to be patient with myself.
Okay.
I am a person, I'm that go-getter. I am out there, I want to help others. And then if I make a mistake or a learning experience, I don't like to call them mistakes because they are all learning experiences. Sometimes I can be my worst critic and the hardest person on myself. And within that, I may sit there for a minute or have sat there for a minute, and I've received advice from others that tell me to be patient with myself. It's okay, because they are instances for you to learn from. So take a moment, step back, take a look at the whole picture, and then, move whichever direction you need to move or not at all, but just be patient with yourself.
Great advice, patience, yes, because sometimes when we sit back and digest what's happened, you might see a different view. So I love that advice. Thank you, Cassandra. That's great advice.
Absolutely.
Now let's talk about how long have you been in real estate? Because you talked about your corporate career before, and maybe you even want to tell us about that, what that looked like leading into real estate.
So I'll take it back a little bit. So my corporate career really in totality is about 30 years is my corporate career. I spent 10 years in banking, and after that, I spent 20 years in telecommunications. So I worked for AT&T for nearly 20 years. So I started out in a call center environment and eventually moved into management, and almost to mid-level management is where I ended my career there. But within that, I had an opportunity to work volunteer-wise with our employee resource groups, which is where my leadership journey kind of started. So I was working in Michigan, is where I'm originally from.
Okay.
And I was there, and I joined an organization which was called Community Network at the time, I believe, and then we morphed into a new organization. But I started as a local president there. Within that journey, for 2.5 years, we grew membership. Membership was always the key. So I learned how to cultivate membership in that particular role. So we took our membership from 35 the year that I joined to 2.5 years later. When I left, we were up to over 500 in our membership numbers. It was amazing in our team, and it was a lot of fun. And then I moved into a national role as what we would call a district DVP. I moved into a regional director, VP of economic development, and then ultimately the CEO for that particular organization. So I loved it. It was a great journey. I learned so much more in my volunteer role than I actually did in my paid role. And I think that's where I was groomed and learned so much. So then when I was right size, is the way we like to call it in corporate America, I had decided to go into real estate. And at the time, before I knew I was being right sized, it was just going to be a secondary source of income. Well, at the time I decided to become a realtor, the same time I became right sized in the company. And so what I decided, Stacey, at that moment was to take a bet on myself. And I'm going to step out on faith, and became a full-time realtor right out the gate. And it has been the best decision I have ever made in my life. Outside of raising my daughters, it's been the best decision that I have made. I've learned so much about myself, about business, about leadership in this short journey, which is about 5 years, that I wouldn't take it back for anything.
Oh, fantastic. 5 years. Oh, that's great. And I totally agree with you. Besides my children, I love this career. It's funny because I had a career before real estate as well. And I think, wow, what would it have looked like if I would have, done this, 20 years ago? And so it's kind of funny when you think back about it, because it is a second or third for myself as well. So it's interesting how that does happen, though.
It is. And actually, I think, while I think that as well, if I would have started earlier, but sometimes I say I wouldn't trade it, because I believe the things that I experienced and learned prepared me to take this particular leg of my journey. So I do appreciate it, what I went through to get here.
Touche. I agree with that. Yep, definitely. So now let's talk about Georgia. So how many networks do you have? And then talk about the state, okay, because you're going to be president in 2023, just in a week, right?
Yes.
So let's talk about that. How many members you have for the state of Georgia, and then maybe some goals you have as Madam President.
Well, we have 9 amazing networks down here. So we're really proud of each of them. They are absolutely phenomenal, Stacy. So we're looking forward to their success next year as well, because I had the pleasure, before I even get into that, I had the pleasure of spending a whole year with them. And I tell you, it was so much fun. It was so
Oh,
much fun preparing for us to all take this journey together next year. So I am really excited for everything that they're going to do. And when I tell you they are ready, Stacy, they are absolutely ready, every last one of them. So I'm proud of that. I wanted to kind of put that plug in. We have at the end of November, we were about 550 members here in the
okay.
state. And we're looking to grow next year. So I've got really big goal in terms of growing the membership for next year, and birthing a few new networks as well, because we've got a lot of opportunity here and interest. So we're looking to birth a couple of new networks for next year as well. Some of the things that I stated when I had my installation service with the members is that we've done an amazing job here in Georgia already. There's no need to reinvent a wheel or to create anything new. My goal is to build on the best, what has
Mhm.
already been set for us. And if we use that as our base and our platform, we're just gonna increase on those things that we've done already in Georgia, but we're gonna do it with excellence. That is the goal. We're gonna have a spirit of excellence in all that we do and execute for next year. But one new things we're going to do is expand in our community engagement next year. So we've got some big plans. We've started a couple years ago a Give Back Day for our 50th anniversary, which was in April.
Oh,
So this will be our 3rd year of our Give Back Day in April. But what we're going to do next year to expand on our community engagement is 2 things. One is the networks are challenged to partner with their association to make it bigger, to have a greater impact in their community next year. And the second thing we're going to do is at our annual conferences in association, we're going to support an organization locally with some of their needs, and we're focusing on domestic violence. So we're going to select some organizations and we're going to help them with some of their needs when we attend our fall and our winter conference next year. So those are some of the things we're going to focus on for next year.
oh, that's nice. That's just really beautiful. And I love that I can just feel the passion in your voice and in your heart that you have just to grow Georgia, and then you're just intense just passion for serving your community, and that means so much, and that's going to show through to your members so much. So thank you for just being a wonderful leader, and they're in good hands in Georgia, I have to say. I can already tell.
You, Stacey, I appreciate that. Yes,
Yeah.
we have a great team. So I'm excited to work with everyone.
Oh, that's wonderful. So you said you have plans to open up some more networks. How many do you think you'll actually launch next year? What is your goal?
My goal is 3.
3. Okay.
My goal is 3 for next year. Yeah, we've got actually a couple real strong interests right now, and then there's an opportunity for another area that we're looking at as well that's got a little interest. So hopefully we can get those off within the first half of the year. So that's the
Oh,
goal.
that's wonderful. That'd
Mhm.
take you up to 12. So that'll really put you on the map. So in Arizona, we are, I call us like a medium sized network, and we're about the same size as you. So we have 8 networks, you have 9. But sounds like there's a lot of growth that's going to go on this next year. So I wish you all the best. Now, did you participate in your Georgia State Leadership Academy? Did you ever do that in your state?
No, I will be doing my leadership academy in 24. I
24?
wanted to, yeah, I couldn't stack too much on my plate, Stacey.
I understand.
Yeah, I still need to sell some real estate in the meantime too. So I didn't want to stack it a little too high, because I'm also active in my association. So, and I
Uh-huh.
love that what I'm doing, but I didn't want to overburden myself.
That's right. That
Mhm.
those are definitely good qualities of a leader, not taking on too much so you can really get the most out of what you're experiencing at one time. So that's good advice, Cassandra.
I want to be effective in it, so
That's
don't want
right.
to do too much.
That's right. So now we're always looking at new technology every year, Cassandra. Things are coming down the pipeline all the time. Is there any new real estate technology that you've come across this last maybe 6 months that has really helped you that we could share with some of our listeners out there in the audience today?
I wouldn't say for me, I'm not the techie person,
Okay.
Stacey.
Okay.
Yeah, listen, if they tell me that it works well, then I trust that it does. I'm gonna go ahead and use it. But for me to say, let me go out and experiment, or I'm that person that just tell me what it does. Okay, I got
Yeah.
it. That works well. The best thing that I use in my business that works well for me is the home snap. I've learned so much about this home snap that okay, this is one I could definitely, ride the train with that particular one. So it's
Yeah.
been great because I've been running into them lately at not just the NAR conference. I ran into them at another association. And when they sat down with me and really showed me what this could do,
Mhm.
that's the thing right there is the home snap. So outside
Yeah.
of, what your broker may offer or anything,
Right.
maybe home snap would be the one I would recommend.
And I use Home Snap too, and I really like it because you can go and show the consumer, your clients right out in the field, the property lines. I love that. And then
Yep.
schedule your showing time right from that app when you're out on the go. So I really like that too. I use it
Yep. Instead of having it pull showing time and you can do it all from one.
all from one. Yep, I agree. I love
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, it's a great integration. So yeah, so I'll say that's the one right there is the home snap.
Okay, I'm with you. I get that. So now let's talk about referrals within the Women's Council. How have referrals affected your business? And the Chris Lee, I know I just heard her speak, and she said they did a survey, and the number one reason why our members join and continue to join is because of our referrals.
Our referrals are great. I have had referrals from California. I've sent referrals to Arizona, to Tennessee. So the referral network is amazing. It really is. To be able to just come in here and find a women's council partner somewhere and then reciprocate or someone share your information. It's amazing. And I got Illinois as well. So yeah, it's really good. I do enjoy the referral network. And it's probably for me, I don't lead as much with it, which I think now I need to lead a little bit more with it.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it has been a blessing to my business with the referral network.
Yes, definitely. And it's just such a good feeling, like you had mentioned before, when you refer a women's council member, you just have that level that that your clients are going to be taken care of. And
Mhm.
so that's why it's just a great tool, and we've got them right in our back pocket, and we can look them up immediately and referral around the nation or even globally. So I love that. Okay.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about maybe some of the hardest times of your leadership. What is maybe a lesson that you learned, or a hard situation that you had to get through with leadership, and what did it teach you?
Oh, what was one of the hardest times? Uh, Probably one of the hardest times, and while there's lessons learned with it each time it happens, it's a little different, and I've experienced it more than once, is having the right people in the right positions
Mhm.
at times. And sometimes you may let's see how the best way to say this mistake. uh, I've had instances where there were people, this is volunteer, that there's still a job that has to be performed. And that's probably the hardest thing for people to understand, is
Right.
that while it is volunteer, it is still a job that you volunteer for. And when there are things that need to be met, or requirements or part of your job function that are not being met, that there's a conversation that needs to be had. And dealing with it, coming to the right conclusion, and always keeping that it's about the organization. It's not about you and I, it's about the organization. And that's what is sometimes hard for people to comprehend. It's not hard to articulate it, but it's hard to comprehend. So helping them to comprehend it is where your challenge comes. So I've learned through experiences, one, it's documentation, and you having a conversation and setting the right expectations. And when the expectations aren't met, and the agreement that has been made between the parties has been breached, that you have the data and the facts and remove the feelings from it. Therefore, you can make the best decision for the organization or the members or whatever it is you're dealing with. You have to keep that it's the organization that you are representing, that you have the responsibility for, that you need to make whatever decision you need to make.
Amen. And thank you so much for saying that. That is amazing, because isn't that the truth? We talk about the organization. It's the organization. If we end each word with what is in the best interest of the Women's Council, and it's not about you or I, it's the council, and then we will always make the right decisions. So thank you for saying that and taking out the emotion, because isn't that the truth? We need to teach that more, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, that's one of the things I wanted my leaders coming up for this year to understand. You have to keep the organization at the forefront of the decisions that you make. And when you're running into challenges, it is the organization. The members elected you, and they're trusting you to run this organization and to keep it healthy, because you have a fiduciary responsibility to the organization.
Georgia is in great hands. That's all I have to say. Georgia is in great hands, because that is phenomenal. Thank you for saying that.
Oh, absolutely, Stacey. That's what I live by.
Well, that's the truth, and they are lucky to have you. Like, I'm
Thank
so
you.
excited right now. I cannot even tell you how excited I am.
Thank you.
That is wonderful. I hope everyone out there listening listens to the wise words of Cassandra, because that was powerful, and that means so much. It's not about us. It is about our organization and helping others. So thank you, Cassandra, for saying that. I just love that. And this is one of my favorite questions of all time, Cassandra, because I get to see everybody like think and go way back into their head, into all the things that have happened to you. But Cassandra, were you born a leader? Isn't that a good one?
I've always toiled with that question. Are leaders born, or are leaders made, or which one is it? The chicken or the egg? Which one is it? I don't know.
I can't wait to hear your answer.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You know what, Stacey? Let's see.
It's a tough one, isn't it? It's a tough one. Because you're groomed into this, and I think that the tendencies are there when you're born, because you have a clean slate when you're born, so you're groomed into being a leader. I've always felt that you can be groomed into being a leader. Now, was I born one? I don't know, Stacey. I don't know. I just do well at what I do right now. Well, you're doing fantastic. I'm just gonna reach out an olive branch right now, okay, Cassandra, and I'm gonna say
Okay.
you were born a leader, okay?
I'll let you say it, Stacey.
Okay,
I'm
thank you.
not saying it. So. I know I've grown in a lot of ways, so that's my story, and I'm sticking to it.
Okay, well, I'm sticking to that you were born with as a leader, because I could tell. I mean, you just have that in your heart, and I can tell by the way you articulate words. So I'm going to go with that.
Okay, thank you.
Donna Kate says, "Way to stump our leader, Stacey."
Yeah, Donna, she did.
That was not the intent. I just love how, you could just see people thinking back and going, I wonder why. I wanted to share this. I got this for Christmas from my daughter's friend. And she's like, everyone that has a podcast has a cup and you don't have one. So I'm going to get you one. Isn't that cute?
Oh, that is adorable.
I know. I can't wait.
Sip with Stacey.
Sip
Okay,
with
that's your
Stacey.
brand.
That's
your
my brand.
Yep, that's your brand.
And it's even pink. It's even pink.
And it's pink. There you go.
I love it. I love it. Oh, well, let's talk about this, Cassandra. Let's talk about, okay, you said you were involved in your association. Okay. Any involvement over at NAR? Are you on any committees over there?
I haven't reached up to NAR yet. I'm a person, I want to do well where I am before I begin to move up in certain ways. So I'm doing a little bit more now on the state level, or being involved committee wise on the state level. So I want to get, my feet wet and learn that before I say, let me jump up to be a part of the NAR committees or whatever. Let me serve well at my state level. Serve well here locally at my association, and I'm moving through leadership there. And now I want to do state level and learn there. So I'm excited about the state opportunities now for next year.
Sure. Okay. Well, great. That's wonderful. And then also, do you have any involvement in RPAC?
Of course.
Can we talk about that?
Of course. So let me say this, Stacey. So how I really got involved in RPAC was we had, I attended 3 years ago, the days at the Dome, or 4 years ago, because it was right before, I guess, the pandemic or something. But it was the days at the Dome. And that is what really opened my eyes, Stacey, to what a realtor is. I learned that opportunity that we are more than sales associates, and the things that we fight for and what we represent was powerful. And when I heard about some of the things that had been won and defeated and whatnot, I was in awe. I walked away at that point, and I think that's when all of my involvement from council, association, when all of it got elevated, is when I had that one experience and I said, how do I do this? So I started learning about the levels and the investment opportunities that were there. And I committed from there, that day forward, that I will never fall less than a major investor. So I've been a major investor for the last 3 years. And my goal next year, if God willing, is to be President's Circle next year.
Oh,
so
awesome.
My goal, awesome. Yes.
Are you going to go to President's Circle this year as a guest?
No, unless is there anybody listening that needs a guest, please reach out to me. I am available. So if you want to take me, I'm here.
You can come as my guest.
Let me know, Stacey. I will definitely come.
Okay, I'm going to call you after this. Okay.
All right. Yes, that's my goal.
So March 1st through the 4th in Cancun is President's Circle.
I'm writing that down. No, got it.
Now I have a client after this, so I've got to go.
I got to call my client back too, who called while we were talking.
But I will call you later today, though. I will call you because my husband's coming with me, but he's not going to attend the meeting. So that means I can bring you as a guest. So that would be fantastic.
I love it. I love it. I'll tell my husband, listen, I have somewhere to go.
I got business, honey. I'll be
Got
back.
business. Awesome. Yes, but that was the eye opener for me, Stacey.
I know.
And from there on, I vowed to again never be less than a major investor because it's so important what we do. And now that is my conversation to many realtors.
Yes.
Is that investment right there. And I want to help them to move from, just your 25 to the 99. And, if that's the steps we need to take.
Yeah.
But if you're able to jump in and become that major investor, I encourage anybody to do that because it's important. So that's part of that. So now I'm going to tell you the other goal. So we're going to help increase our PAC with Women's Council next year as well.
Woohoo!
So yeah, so we're pushing that initiative to highlight our investors and really have more conversation around the importance of our PAC investing. So
that's right. So all of our friends out there, as you can see, Cassandra and I are very, very passionate about our PAC. If you have any questions, please message us on Facebook if you don't have our personal cell phone numbers, because we want to share the good news and exactly what RAPAC does and how to be an advocate for our industry. We are so passionate about it. I want to share with you, Cassandra, I just made my goal. And so I will be walking across the threshold this year. I just reached a Hall of Fame. So
congratulations!
I'm so excited. So when we go to mid-year in Washington, D.C., I will get my Hall of Fame, and I sit on our trustees fundraising at NAR committee. It's my second year appointment there, and I absolutely love it. I'm so involved with RAPAC, even at my association. So thank you for bringing that up and your commitment, because all of us working together is how we're going to make a difference. Absolutely. And it's so important for all of us. So I'm just so excited, and I will call you later because I would love for you to be my guest. So awesome. That would be great.
Thank you, Stacey. I appreciate that. I'm
absolutely
honored.
And I am just so thrilled that you are making that a goal at the Georgia State, and you're talking to more members about it, because that's how we spread the good news, just like of Women's Council, as we talk about our advocacy and how important that is. Because I listened to a speech one day from a government affairs person in Tucson, and they said this, and it was so profound to me, and it hit, because it's always how someone frames something, right? And he said, we're in a boat and we're steering the boat, but if we don't steer the boat, someone else will. And that was like my aha moment, because that's so true. If we don't get involved, someone will steer our organization. And so we've got to get involved and steer it the way that we feel is best, for our clients and for our homeowners' rights. So thank you, Cassandra, for being involved in Georgia. You are making a difference, and I'm so just honored to have you on today with Sip with Stacey. Do you want to end with anything else you would like to say in conclusion?
I have so enjoyed this conversation, Stacey. I know you got us out live there, but I feel like it is just, we're having a nice little sip of coffee and we're having girl talk. And I appreciate the opportunity to be on your show and share about Georgia, share about myself, and encourage others to get involved as well. So I thank you for that opportunity. And that leads me to what my saying is. One of my sayings is to encourage people to be the change that you want to see. So if you want some change to happen, be that change that you want to see. And whatever it is that you are doing, be the change. So that's it, Stacey. I thank you again for it. And I look forward to seeing you here really, really soon. And I love the invitation to go to Cancun. Thank you so much.
I love it. I love it, Cassandra. Thanks for being so awesome. And we look forward to your leadership in 2023. We know you're going to do wonderful things as president for Georgia State. So thank you, and have a wonderful day.
You too. Bye-bye, Stacey.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye, everyone.